Let me see. That looks so stupid. That's oh, that's not cute. The severed hands. We'll use that. I'm watching Forensics Files. This episode, someone got their severed hands removed. It's really horrible. Um, and this guy said his hands were severed. It's terrible. I watched the um, Lisa Frank documentary that's on Amazon Prime today. Lisa Frank is a real cunt. Like a real, like a royal cunt. I didn't know that she was like a piece of shit like she is. And she's a liar too. So I recommend watching the Lisa Frank documentary on Amazon Prime and see what a real bitch that she is. Even one of her own sons um, doesn't seem like he likes her very much. They just showed a picture of the severed hands. It was awful. Like I said, I love me some forensics files, but sometimes it's too much. Because they just showed a picture of both of the severed hands, and it was like a picture in color. This is really gruesome. This is awful. Oh, that's terrible. He dismembered the body and buried and put the body parts in the garbage bags and buried them all over the county and in Mexico. That's so awful. It's really gruesome too. Money, money, money. Hi, money. Oh, I forgot to hit that little check. What are you looking at? I've been watching. I've been like having a marathon of forensics files. Like there was one a little while ago where they're talking about succinylcholine. I love succinylcholine. And I love when they talk about luminol. I love luminol. Look at money. What are you looking at, money? I don't know what he's looking at. My eyes are like burning. I don't know what's going on, but they've like been bothering me the past week. Like I feel like they're burning all the time. I hope I'm not going blind. I'm gonna be like fucking Elton John. He was a bishop in the Mormon church. So he was the one who did the severed hands. That's so gruesome. Money. Well, here's my Rubik's Cube. Ever since they showed those recent pictures of the Titan submersible on the ocean floor, and I saw someone left a comment saying they were looking for a Rubik's Cube, I needed to get one. And why is it so like flimsy like this? They weren't always that like it almost feels like you could rip the fucking thing apart. Here's this old fortune I had. I got some Chinese food yesterday. The bitch didn't put any fortune cookies in there. The fuck? This little fortune says, you will soon be grateful for the challenges you've faced. Well, that hasn't happened yet. I'll be grateful for the challenges I've faced. That sounds like some bullshit. Oh, the guy who did the severing of the hands was a heroin addict. That's terrible. Luminol. The body was dismembered in the bathtub. He used a saw, like a old, almost big saw. That's terrible. This is so gruesome. And then he stole his VCR TV and microwave oven to buy drugs. That's terrible. I love the reenactments. They're showing someone carrying this trash bag, throwing the body in a dumpster. His body was never recovered, just the hands. That's terrible. It's so gruesome. Look at Silly sitting up there. Why can't I see her? You can't really see her, but she's up there on the cat tree. Here, let me get close. There she is. She's being too silly right now. Lee, here she comes. She's being silly. You're being too silly right now, Lee. Well, you're being too silly, Lee. She's being kind of silly. There she is. Lee, look at that little silly face. Lee, you're too silly. Oh, oh, oh. Lee, you're silly, Lee. I need to put some new batteries on my clock. Because they went out a couple months ago. Well, at least I'm not like one of those assholes that has a smoke detector that's beeping like that asshole Tara Cunningham. For weeks we'll be hearing about. God, that cow makes me sick. Those eating videos where she's like eating like a straight up slob, like eating like a dude, and the man explaining. For weeks we'll be hearing about. It's like, bitch, shut up. Go and eat like a slob with your smoke detector beeping in the background. For weeks we'll be hearing. Look at silly Lee. She's just too silly. She has such a silly little face. I can hear money crunching right now. He's eating dry food. What, Lee? Oh, this is a horrible story. I've seen all of them. But this is one where this little kid got, her mother worked in I think it was at a newspaper, and she left, her daughter was in the car, and somehow she got out and she got ran over in the parking lot. whoever it was, they just left, and the kid survives, but she had like injuries that lasted her whole life, and I think she died when she was a teenager. It's pretty sad. Lee's too silly with her little face. Look at that little face. This is how I spend my Saturday nights, holding this little silly. I'm not going out. I'm not going out to the clubs. I'm too old for that. I'm not whoring around on Grindr. I deleted all of that trash. So I watch. I'm watching Forensics Files. My arm is getting tired of holding up my phone. I don't know where my little tripod is. I got the one tripod, the one that has spread the legs, but it's outside. And the little one I have um, is somewhere, except I don't know where. You silly. That's a the reenactment showing the kid just laying in the parking lot with tire tracks on her. That's awful. At least it's not as gruesome as the severed hands of the previous episode. That was too much. And those were real severed hands. The ambulance broke down along the way. That's terrible. That's so awful. You're too silly, Lee, with your silly little face. She's too silly. Look at that little silly. She's just being silly. Look at that silly little face. She had the tire marks on her face. It's the tire tracks going like this across the little kid's face. awful. That's so awful. Look at Blue's silly little face. You're silly, Blue. I need some more eye drops. I think mine are all empty. I'm going blind like Elton John. My hand is like starting to get tired. I'm gonna like end this. Smash that like button. And look at that little silly face. Look at her little face. Look at that silly little face of hers.